What's up, Ken folk? Bubba and the old man back here with another video. Today we're talking offensive coordinators. If y'all haven't heard, Zach Hill's out.
Yeah, that kind of threw us for a curve.
Yeah, because like yesterday I'm sending you a text telling you if it's not Zach Hill, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, and now he's completely out of the picture. So this is getting absolutely insane because Zach Hill, I believe, has a lot of potential as an OC. He had some pretty good offenses at Boise, and he was a guy who was going to bring some continuity with Coach Harsin. And now it's looking like we're going to get Del McGhee, or it's going to be Jeff Grimes, and we're having to fight for him.
Or Austin, whoever.
Davis.
Yeah, from the Seahawks.
Who was a pretty good quarterback in the NFL. But he's got 3 years of coaching experience behind him. Never called plays.
Yeah, and he's never recruited.
No. So it's kind of like we're getting thrown for a loop here, because we were planning on doing this video Sunday, and I'm kind of glad we didn't.
Yeah,
because
me too.
We'd have been making another one
to rebuttal everything we said if we'd have done it Sunday.
Yeah,
because everything was looking like it was going to be Zach Hill.
Yeah, it's going to be Zach Hill. Ludwig was in it. The West Kentucky OC, whatever, Kitley or whatever. And now he's rightfully at Texas Tech, where his offense is very welcome.
Yeah, Western Kentucky OC.
Yeah.
I keep seeing everybody wanting this Punch guy from App State. I don't know nothing about him.
No, and I've been seeing Willie Korn, assistant OC at Coastal Carolina. And it's just all these names that we're not hearing anything about. We're not hearing anything actually about anything of substance. It's just now that immediately afterwards we just got two guys really.
Right now, those three names are the only ones I've heard.
Yeah, Austin Davis. I don't think he's really going to get shit. Really, I think they just texted him and he's like a third option if these two just go to the crapper. I don't think he's really getting looked at that hard. If I had to guess, because I don't think Coach Harsin would hire an NFL quarterbacks coach to call plays for him. So, here we are with Del McGhee. Del McGhee is the running back coach and the running game coordinator at Georgia right now. So, I think you want to talk about his recruiting prowess.
Yeah, that's the 100% the upside to getting him.
Yeah.
Because he's a hell of a recruiter.
Yeah.
He is always top 15, 20 as far as recruiters go every year.
Yeah. He's one of the best recruiters in the country. And he
is the main reason, if my memory serves me correct, that Michael Williams, I think's his name, he's like top 25 player in the country, defensive lineman.
Yep.
I think Del McGhee is the main reason he committed to Georgia.
So, yeah, we would get our recruiting class even this year would jump.
Would get better.
Yeah, way better. I think we would insure Trevante Citizen, get him in the bag. And that's the thing. That's the thing right now. That's why if we get Del McGhee, we got to get him now. Like, we got to get him now. Because that's
within the next few days, at least.
The main reason you want to get him is because of his recruiting process. Now, I think he does have potential as a play caller, but he's never called plays.
Yes. I think if he comes, Harsin would definitely start out calling plays.
Yeah, I think it could be like a teamwork thing. Remember Grant Lashley and Gus?
Yeah.
Like that kind of situation. But I don't know, because Harsin, I think the main reason he wanted Zach Hill was so that he could kind of get off the play calling.
No.
That's the main reason he got Mike Bobo also, in my opinion.
No, the reason Bobo got left behind is because they were butting heads.
Yeah.
As far as Bobo is this kind of system and Harsin is this kind of system. And marrying the two together, it wasn't working.
No, it wasn't. And Mike Bobo is a guy, he's an alpha dog, I guess, because it looked like Bobo's offense game 1 to game 12. There was nothing that I really saw from Harsin's systems at Boise.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty damn certain that Harsin hired him to do a job, and beginning to end, he let him do his job.
And Mike Bobo sucked ass at it.
It did not work.
The offense was above average at times, but it incredibly tailed off.
Yeah,
a lot.
For the most part, it was below
Anytime we
average.
played an above average defense, we got creamed. And
Yeah.
that's why it's the Dale McGhee thing is kind of weird to me, because I think Harsin would be okay with calling plays, but I think the reason he was going after Zach Hill and looking at the Kitley guy and all these other guys is because he doesn't really want to have to do that.
Right.
He seems like a CEO type of coach to me.
Well, and that may be another reason why there's a lot of noise around Jeff Grimes, because he has called plays. He has been calling plays. If I'm not mistaken, he called plays at BYU.
Mm-hmm.
And he for damn sure's called plays at Baylor.
Yeah.
Because Dave Aranda's a defensive guy.
Yeah, and that's like, because I think he'd call plays if he had to. There's no problem. He's going to call plays in the ball game. Like, he's an OC at heart.
Right.
He's an offensive guy at heart.
And I think he hired Bobo because Bobo has experience in the SEC.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Bobo's offense just does not work anymore.
No, it doesn't. It's 2009, 2008 offense. We expected him to evolve a little bit, and he didn't. He did not.
No.
Not even in a little bit.
And I don't think Bobo's offense fit the personnel at Auburn.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Because Gus recruited for hurry up, no huddle.
Yes.
Even though he hadn't run a hurry up, no huddle since 2013, he still recruited for the hurry up, no huddle.
Yeah, the spread, full, wide open offense that he thought he had. Which he did.
But anyhow, I think Grimes would be the best guy, but who knows who we're going to get. I mean, this offensive coordinator search has taken 2 left turns already.
So, the Dale McGhee thing, I'm just going to give you his timeline. 2014, 2015, he was at Georgia Southern. He was running backs coach, then he was an assistant head coach, and then he was an interim head coach for a game, which I believe he won, I think. Then 2016 to 18, he was assistant head coach and running back coach at Georgia, and now he's running game coordinator and running backs coach. The positives are obviously the recruiting. That's the thing. That's the only real huge positive I see with this. The other positive is Auburn alum, and he's a Southern guy, and this tails into recruiting. He knows the Southern region.
Well, not only that, I mean, his running backs run hard for him.
Yeah, and he's a great coach. He's a great running backs coach.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, I think he would, if he was the guy, you would next year. I'm sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. You would see a completely different tank.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, Cadillac. That's one of the things that I'm really starting to worry about with these guys is outside of Dale McGhee even, who's got real ties and who's going to be persuaded into keeping our running backs coach?
Because that's not their choice. That's Harsin's choice.
I know, but I mean, are you going to come to Auburn if they're not going to let you put together your own offensive staff, especially if you're a high-profile Jeff Grimes?
This is not the NFL.
Yeah, I know, Dad, but like Jeff Grimes, I'm sure when he went to Baylor, they let him pick his offensive staff.
I don't know.
Yeah, that if you're going to get a high-profile, I keep cutting out his frame. If you're going to get a high-profile OC, they're going to want to bring their guys. But if there's
you don't know, we don't know.
But
we just gotta hope.
Yeah, our pretty guy. We keep Cadillac. He's our best recruiter on staff. But all to Jeff Grimes, and we broke this guy down in our last video. He's shown the ability to be a very good recruiter in the SEC at Auburn and LSU. This is the guy I want. I like Dale McGhee. I'd obviously love it because of the recruiting.
This is the unicorn.
Yeah, this is the guy who we're going to have to fight because he's got pretty much the pick of the litter in college football. Wherever he wants to go, they're going to take him.
Well, him and Joe Brady. I'm hearing a lot of news about Joe Brady.
Fuck Joe Brady. I don't want Joe Brady.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't want him.
I'm not saying we're going after Joe Brady.
No, I'm talking to the people that want Joe Brady. I don't want Joe Brady.
Well, that's fine. Joe Brady, go somewhere else. But I'm just hearing that there's a lot of people that have open OC positions that are really intrigued by Joe Brady.
The thing is about Joe Brady is he wasn't the play caller at LSU, and everybody who's an LSU fan will tell you that. He wasn't that. Why does everybody think this man was the offensive coordinator there? He wasn't. His title was passing game coordinator, and he helped bring in some NFL concepts. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying he's a bad offensive coordinator or anything, but he's one of the most overhyped, overrated play callers that's in the mix right now. But off the rage, Jeff Grimes. Like I said, he's shown the ability to recruit in the SEC at Auburn and LSU. He's coached in the SEC as an offensive line coach at Auburn and as an offensive line coach and running game coordinator at LSU. This is your guy and my guy.
I love Grimes.
I love Joe Grimes, and he
Jeff Grimes.
Jeff Grimes. My bad. I still got Joe Brady on my mind. He whooped Oklahoma State's butt with a freshman quarterback who hadn't hardly played a game this year.
Played hurt the second half.
Yeah, and 21-16 was the final score, but before he got hurt, there was nothing on, especially Oklahoma State's side. They were overrated and overhyped all year too. Gary Bohannon showed drastic improvements, and that's the biggest thing is he developed Gary Bohannon. Gary Bohannon was nothing but a dual threat option quarterback before Jeff Grimes got there, and that showed because he had never started a game, I don't think. And when he got play time, he was in there. Like, you remember Johnny Gatewood at Auburn? Every time they called plays for him,
he was running.
Yeah, he was running the ball. They didn't want him to throw the ball, but he threw for 2,165 yards, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and he ran for 301 yards and 9 touchdowns also.
All right, Jeff Grimes. I believe he was the offensive line coach at Auburn in 2010.
Yeah, through 2012.
That 2013 team, I'm assuming, was left over from him.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I recall that Auburn had a good offensive line. I think that was probably the last time Gus had a true tackle that come out of high school to Auburn. I mean, it just... don't even get me started on that.
The only other time that I can recall that our offensive line was above average was 2017, and that consisted of a bunch of transfers, and Braden Smith was just so good that it didn't really matter.
Braden Smith is just that, what we down here in the South call country strong.
Yeah, and I mean, he was so good that he played guard at Auburn, and he flexed out the tackle occasionally. But he played guard at Auburn, and he went to the NFL, and is now a fully developed all-pro right tackle. And that's how much potential that he has. That's how elite of a talent that he is.
I think he could play every position across the offensive line.
I think if you gave him about a month of practice, he could perfect center.
I'm not saying he did play every position at Auburn.
Yeah,
but I think he was able. I think he played a little bit of center in high school.
Yeah, and he was so elite. And Prince Tega was just good enough in 2019. He was good enough.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he developed that offensive line in 2010. That was a dirty, nasty, angry offensive line. Because none of them, I think, had any sort of NFL career. But they gave Cam time and time.
Yeah,
time. And nobody was touching Cam without smoke being thrown at everybody.
Yeah, the 2010 offensive line was
gritty, angry. Just I think it was Ryan Pugh. He was on that O-line. I mean, it was, and this is just a guy who's gonna lean on his offense. That's what I saw at Baylor. He leans on that offensive line. You're gonna create holes, so the offense is gonna work anyway.
Yeah. And
he's a very smart guy and a gritty guy, and I think he'd come in and he would be perfect. This would be the best hire we made as an OC since Chip Lindsey was hired in 2017.
Yeah, and it worked great until Gus took back over play calling.
Yeah, and the next year we went like 7-5 in the regular season after that SEC championship run.
Where Gus took over play calling and we got run out of the building, and then in the same building we let, for lack of a better term, a one-armed linebacker beat us all to hell.
Yep. It was terrible. It was terrible in that SEC.
And I ain't hating on the kid. Kid was talented.
Oh yeah, sure.
But it's just the truth. Well, he had one hand.
Yeah, he was nubbing on the other side.
Yeah,
But
and he was tearing us up.
He was everywhere, and I think he's still in the league. I think he's a pretty solid player, but it's just, and I could get deep into the analytical things because I do have a whole list of everything. But you know who Jeff Grimes is. You know what he did at Baylor. You know what he did at BYU. This is the perfect hire. And then we got Austin Davis, a guy who I wouldn't be pissed off.
I would
if we hired, because
I'd be pissed off.
when you're a backup quarterback in the NFL, you're not just there in case the quarterback gets a cold or something. You're there, you break down film, and you help the coach, and you're obviously one of the smartest guys in the NFL if you're able to be a consistent backup quarterback. Because when he even started, he was an okay quarterback. But when you're a backup in the NFL, you're basically an assistant to the offensive coordinator. That's what you are. You're an assistant quarterback's coach. That's why Josh McCown, until he could barely move, was an NFL backup. Why Ryan Fitzpatrick to this day can be a backup quarterback. That's why these old-ass men can be in the NFL when they can barely play anymore.
Yeah.
So he's obviously a smart guy, and he immediately, after 1 year, took over quarterback coach duties at the Seahawks. But the issue is recruiting. That's 25% of the job in college.
He's never called plays, never been an OC, and never recruited.
Nope. None of those things. He's none of those things. So this is a situation where Harsin would have to call plays, because you're not going to give a quarterback coach the ability to call plays immediately. You're an idiot if you do that. And he's a guy who saw the game from a field view at a high level and won games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he brings that, and he brings relatability, or whatever you want to call it, to the players. He's not 40. He's like way under 40. And so he's basically a kid. So you bring him in. He's going to help develop Bo Nix, because he is a pretty similar quarterback to Bo Nix. And I was a big fan of him when he played for Cleveland, because I love Cleveland. So, I mean, I wouldn't be mad, but your offense coordinator has to be able to recruit. That's like half their job.
Yeah. And we don't know what he can do. He could be the best recruiter in the world. He could suck balls.
Yeah, there's no telling, because he's never recruited. I
don't like the unknown.
And that's the thing. This is what I'm starting to get upset about. It took us 9 days to hire a head coach last year, and that hurt recruiting. Now it's been a week, and we haven't hired an offense coordinator. We got to get a guy in here. We can't keep telling these guys, and Harson's going to go in there, this is what I'm looking at, and this is what I want in my offense coordinator. You ain't got a freaking offensive coordinator. There's no telling who you're going to get. We thought we had Zach Hill in the bag, and I'd love that. But apparently he talked to kids during the dead period. Oh, no.
You break the rules.
How dare you?
You break the rules.
Yeah, I know. But it's whatever. Everybody cheats in recruiting. You can't win in recruiting if you can't cheat well. Man, he just didn't cheat well. So
he got caught.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. You gonna tell me Nick Saban and his staff don't talk to recruits in the dead period?
Nick Saban and his staff ain't getting caught.
Yeah. Or they are, and they don't want their princess to get in trouble for it. But that's a conversation for another day. This is what we got. This is all going to change by 12 tomorrow when we upload it. But, hey, we're here, and I hope you enjoyed the video, because we enjoy making these videos. We plan on being on C&T Talking Tigers tomorrow. They're one of our favorite YouTube channels. They're an up-and-coming YouTube channel. So go give them a sub if you haven't already. And
War Damn Eagle.
War Eagle. Selena, go!
Oh.
Stop!